Alrighty, so the All-Star roster have just dropped today, and here are the 26 players that is going to be going to the MLS All-Star game this year in Orlando. And if you have watched my MLS All-Star Fan 11 video, you will notice that there are a couple of players on this list that you have heard of. And in fact, I think you probably can tell when you can see how I put like purple star mark as the fan 11, and also I put the red mark as the commissioner pick. And for those of you that don't know what the commissioner pick is, basically the commissioner of MLS, Don Gabber, would be picking two players to go to the MLS All-Star game. And the first player that is going to be going to the MLS All-Star game that Gabber picked is Nick Rimando, who is going to be going to his sixth MLS All-Star game. Now, this could have easily been Tim Howard. And I think Gabber, there is no doubt that he had a very tough decision whether or not he wanted to put Rimando or Tim Howard into the All-Star game, because both of these legendary goalkeeper is going to be retiring after this year. But in the end, he decided to choose Nick Rimando, and I have I know Colorado fans won't be happy about it, and I'm sure Tim Howard won't be happy the fact that he got snubbed in his final ever season as a player in MLS. But I think Nick Rimando, what he has achieved in MLS and what he has done throughout his career with RSL, there is really nothing you can dispute that. I mean, Tim Howard is a good goalkeeper, but he hasn't really been in MLS for a very long time. He's been spending most of his time in Europe, and that's really where he kind of made his mark, and also with the national team. So Nick Rimando is there, and Nick Rimando is more of an MLS kind of big name goalkeeper that obviously we have to cherish him in this All-Star game, since this is of course his last year in MLS in his player career. Then the next goalkeeper that's going to be in there is going to be Brad Guzan, who he was part of the Fan 11, and this is going to be his third appearance. And then the last goalkeeper that is going to be in the roster is actually going to be Andre Blake, who's going to be making his second All-Star appearance. And by the way, when I finish this video, I think somewhere either this week or next week, I am going to do a MLS All-Star snub 11, and I'm going to choose 11 players that I think were the biggest snub to not go to this MLS All-Star game. And I can tell you right now that there is a lot of tough decision I have to make in terms of the goalkeeping position, because there's a lot of goalkeeper that I feel like got pretty much snubbed in this All-Star game. Guys like Tim Melia, Stephen Fry, some of those notable names that probably should have been, and even Jesse Gonzalez probably should be in this All-Star roster. So that's going to be a bit of a tough decision to decide who exactly is going to be my goalkeeper in my MLS All-Star 11 snub. But in the defense, we got Graham Susie, who I put a big star here because he was in the Fan 11, and he will be making his 7th MLS All-Star appearance, and he actually has the most appearance out of anybody in this roster. And there is definitely a lot of criticism the fact that Graham Susie is in the All-Star game, because a lot of fans think that he hasn't done really anything with Sporting KC. Like, the only reason why he got in is because, well, it seemed like we tends to vote for him to go to the All-Star every single year, except for 2016, so might as well just vote him in again. So yeah, Susie of course going to the All-Star game for the 7th time. Then you got Walker Zimmerman going to the All-Star game for the first time, and he of course was voted by the fans and part of the Fan 11. Then Bastian Schweinsteiger going to the All-Star game for the 2nd time. And then it's Romian Metenier going to the All-Star game for the first time, and I think this is the first time ever a Minnesota player has got into the All-Star game. Or actually, I might be wrong though, because I think Christian Ramirez did get to the All-Star game in the past couple of years, and maybe even Quintero actually had an All-Star appearance. But I think Romian Metenier is the first Minnesota player to go to the All-Star game, and well deserved. He is one of the best defender in the league, probably one of the most underrated defender in the league, because I don't think a lot of people talk about how Metenier is being one of the best defender, and a lot of people, when you mention who is the best defender in the league, Metenier won't probably be mentioned, because he is just kind of underrated and kind of quietly being one of the best defender in that Minnesota team. Then we got Kamar Lawrence, who's finally made his first appearance in an MLS All-Star. And there's going to be some of these guys that finally make their first MLS All-Star appearance after, in previous year, I would have definitely included them in my snub 11. And Kamar Lawrence is one of those guys that a lot of people are surprised, the fact that he has not been in the All-Star game in the previous years, and that this is only his first one, because he is one of the best defender and one of the best fullback in this league, and the fact that he repeatedly gets snubbed from the All-Star game is very surprising. Then you got Matt Hedges making his third appearance in the All-Star game, and then follow up by Leandro Gonzalez Perez, who's making his first MLS All-Star appearance, and he was part of the Fan 11. Now, in terms of the midfielder, we got Diego Rossi making his first ever appearance in the MLS All-Star game, followed by Alejandro Pozuelo making also his first ever start in the All-Star game. Then we got Paxton Pomykal making his first ever MLS All-Star game, and he, of course, was the other commissioner pick, and I'm so happy for this kid to be going into the All-Star game. As you know, he's one of my favorite player in the league, and he absolutely deserved the fact to go into the All-Star game. I mean, the impact that he has made with FC Dallas this season, you can clearly tell that when FC Dallas did not have Paxton Pomykal, they just don't look like the same going forward on the attack. So, well deserved that he is going to the All-Star game, thanks to the commissioner of MLS. Then we got Nani being the only player to represent the host city of this All-Star game, with Orlando City making his first appearance in the MLS All-Star game, and he's also part of the Fan 11. Then we got Maxi Morales also making his first start with the MLS All-Star roster. And then we got Pity Martinez also making his first start, and like Graham Susie, he was another guy that was very controversial and got a lot of scrutiny for the fact that he's going to the All-Star game. And I even said back in the Fan 11, if there is a guy that I think clearly don't deserve to be in the All-Star or in the All-Star roster, it would be Pity Martinez, because he hasn't done anything for Atlanta United. Like, he only scored one goal for Atlanta United, and I believe he has only got one assist. There is so many guys out there right now in MLS has scored more goals and has assists more than Pity Martinez, and the only reason why Pity Martinez gets into the All-Star roster is because the fans basically stop the ballot, and the Atlanta fans just got to make sure that their big money spent this offseason has to get into the All-Star 11. Then we got Nicholas Ladero, who is also one of those guys that I would have been featured in my past snubs in my MLS All-Star roster, making his first ever start in an MLS All-Star roster. I mean, that is really surprising. The fact that Ladero, of him being one of the best central attacking midfielder in the league, and that this is only his first ever appearance in MLS All-Star roster. Then we got Mark Anthony Kane making his first ever start in an MLS All-Star roster, followed by Jonathan Dos Santos, who was voted by the fans and part of the Fan 11, making his second MLS All-Star roster. Then we got another guy that I would definitely feature in my past snubs of my MLS All-Star snub 11, and a guy that I think out of everybody in the past, and probably the first guy that a lot of people would think about that got snubbed in the All-Star game, is Diego Chara. Like, how in the world is this guy only making his first MLS All-Star roster when he has been consistently the best central defensive mid player in the league? Like, he's basically the N'Golo Kante of MLS right now, and the fact that he's only making, finally this is the moment that he gets a chance to go to the MLS All-Star is very, very surprising. Then we follow that up with Ezekiel Barco making his second appearance in the MLS All-Star, and he of course was voted by the Fan 11. Now, in terms of the forward position, Chris Wondolowski, from the San Jose Earthquakes, makes his fifth MLS All-Star roster, and you know, I think this is the first time since, oh god, I forgot what was the last time a Quakes player goes to the All-Star game, because usually not a lot of Quakes player ever get to go into the All-Star, and usually when a Quakes player does get to the All-Star, it would be Chris Wondolowski, and I think Wando, his last, I believe it was 2014, the last time he went to the All-Star game, but I am very happy the fact that he got voted in and that he's in the All-Star game, because, you're looking at the MLS goal scoring king right here, and you're also looking at a guy that has just basically been one of the guy that just continued to carry this team like he has done for so many years. So yeah, I'm so happy the fact that Wando is now back into the All-Star game. I'm hoping that he will at least get some minutes. Like, please, James O'Connor, at least put him in the starting 11, or at least put him off the bench in this game, because I really want to see Wando in the All-Star game again. And by the way, I didn't wrote down on the board, but James O'Connor is going to be the head coach of this All-Star game. Obviously, the head coach is decided by who exactly is the head coach of the host venue. This year, of course, it's Orlando City, so James O'Connor is the head coach of this year MLS All-Star game. And I feel like they probably should change that, and instead of being like the host venue and the host team to be the host team head coach to be the head coach of the All-Star game, they should just say that whoever is the head coach should be the MLS Cup winner, because that would makes it a little bit better. Although if we were gonna make this rule happen right now, then unfortunately we will not have Tata Martino coach this team for only this game, because he's no longer with Atlanta United and he's with the Mexican national team. And I doubt that Tata Martino is going to just coach this team and don't have to worry about the Mexican national team and just coach this team as a one-off occasion. But still, James O'Connor is going to be the head coach of this team. And going back to the All-Star roster, we got Carlos Vela making his second appearance, and he was part of the Fan 11. And I have a feeling he is going to be the captain of this team, because he's basically the best player in the league right now and an MVP front runner right now in terms of this season. Then we got Wayne Rooney making his first appearance in the MLS All-Star game. Then we got Joseph Martinez making a second appearance. And then last but not least, we have Zlatan Ibrahimovic making his second appearance in the MLS All-Star roster. So yeah, these are the 26 players that's going to be going to the MLS All-Star game in Orlando late in July. And let me know in the comments below, what do you think of all these guys? Do you think there are guys that in this roster shouldn't belong into the 26-man roster in the MLS All-Star game? Or do you have some guys that you think that definitely deserve to be in this game? And obviously, let me know also in the comments below, who do you think should be in the All-Star game, and who are some of the biggest snub in this MLS All-Star game? I mean, I know I'm going to still make a video about that, and I'll probably say the same thing at the end, but really, who is the biggest snub in terms of this MLS All-Star game? Because there, like I said before, with only 26 players available in this MLS All-Star roster, and it's like 26 out of like 900 players in the league right now, there's obviously going to be guys that is deemed to be MLS All-Star level, but they're not in the roster because they didn't get voted in. So let me know in the comments below, and yeah, hope you guys enjoy this video, and I will see you guys next time.